gamers together now have the sheer magnitude to be a significant unifying force for the world.
If I'm to choose between a greater and lesser evil, I'd rather not choose at all.
You were almost a jibble sandwich.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Be better.
Check this out.
Hello, and welcome everybody to the 346th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan 8bits. And joining me, as is my favorite tradition here, on our favorite things episode of 2023, is my podcast, Ride or Die. She is back in the saddle. You can find her on them socials at Miss Ali Hart. Miss Ali Hart, how the bloody hell are you?
I'm back. Hi. Watch me fumble learning how to podcast, being away for over half a year, a bit, and some change maybe.
I reckon it's just going to be like riding a bike. You're just going to be straight back on that saddle and you're going to be doing monos and popping bunny hops, audibly, of course, in the podcast form. And it's going to be just like old times. But
just like old times.
Yeah, it's been 6 months away. They do say the distance makes the heart grow fonder. And my heart is very fond knowing that we've got Miss Hart back here to podcast. So thank you for taking some time out of your schedule.
It's all right. It's dark outside, and it's actually that late. We're in this like weird time now over here where it's like daylight savings and it's like dark at 5 p.m. in the evening. So, but yeah, like if there's an episode that I wanted to make work, it's talking about things that I love. So I'm glad to kind of be back. I've had some kind of it's kind of funny going from like every week being able to kind of talk about things that you like and interests and stuff till just like I have no one to tell this to. Like I'll tell my partner about it. I'll tell my husband, like, you know, only so much he can hear. And then it's like, oh, you know, I used to be able to really voice myself.
I reckon just start like opening the front door in the morning and sort of doing a big battle cry out. Like, I'd watch this or I played this world. What do you think? And see what reaction you get back.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get quite a reaction back. But like even in my workspace, I don't have anyone to talk to about stuff. There's old women don't want to talk about that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna condense and fit it all in this episode. So get ready.
Hell yeah. So yeah, listeners, this is our favorite things episode for 2023. And this isn't just favorite things that have come out in the calendar year. It's favorite things that we've seen or encountered or discovered for the first time in 2023. So if you hear us mention certain films or games or whatever else, you go, oh, Brendan, you're full of shit. That came out in 2020 or whatever. Just put the pitchforks away. It's just things that we've experienced for the first time in the past 12 months. So we're going to be just talking about, the things that we now love that we didn't either know existed or didn't take the time to check out. So it's going to be a nice, fun, cruisy, casual discussion where we don't really have any drops tied up. We're just going to sort of weave through a couple of segments and talk life and games and everything else in between.
The A+ student in me, I actually kept everything that was in this year.
Well, there you go. I'm the person that's let the podcast down here. But I think like looking at my list, I think everything might be this year as well. So
yeah, I think you've done pretty well. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Forget everything I just said the last couple of minutes because we're just talking about things from 2023 apparently. So I'm learning as we go. And I guess we could start with just broader lens stuff and talk about, the favorite things that we've done or experienced in 2023. So so where do you want to start with this conversation?
I mean, this is the video game and pop culture podcast, so let's just talk. I got to go to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. I was in there. I got to walk around. I got to experience it. I got to experience it at its probably lowest point. Right in the middle of strikes and everything like that. So a lot of people were bailing out. But it was great. It's probably good for someone who has anxieties like me, especially in crowded places. So it was a good way to kind of introduce me into Comic-Con. And it was a great experience. Like I can see a lot of similarities to all other conventions, but it's obviously on a grander scale. I got to do a bunch of exhibits and fun things. There was a fun Diablo exhibit that I got to experience where you go into church and, kind of have get yelled at by a priest. But
Righto.
yeah, Comic-Con. And I am so happy I got to see Critical Role. They had a panel. So I was absolutely ecstatic that I got to see Critical Role live. So yeah, it was great. It was lots of fun. I got to see the cosplayers too, some incredibly talented cosplayers out there. Oddly enough, at Comic-Con, I met Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria, and he was absolutely lovely. But yeah, Comic-Con was like an experience, and I'm already set up to go again next year. I don't know why my brain had to think about that for a second. Yeah, I'm going next year.
So
already set up.
Because it is sort of the mecca, right? As far as conventions goes, like SDCC is, I think, the biggest as far as not only a square footage, but also just people attending this event. Like, PAX in America and PAX here in Australia, like they're huge and very big grand spectacles, but I don't think it can sort of compete directly with an SDCC where Comic-Con is just a giant gargantuan monster, right?
It really is, like, because it doesn't just stay within the convention halls. Like, Comic-Con spreads out all through San Diego and the streets and in bars and other in car parks. Like, it just absolutely takes over that particular point of San Diego, and it's such a global event of international visitors and just people from everywhere just coming together to experience all the cool things of pop culture and a lot of shopping, a lot of purchases. Definitely make sure you save a lot of money going in there as well, because there's some cool shit. There's some really cool stuff, but expensive after a while.
Did you throw some money down? Did you see a piece and you were like, I have to have that? Like it was your Eleanor?
Gosh,
did you grab something?
So I had a few rules that I wanted to few things that I wanted to tick off, and it was buy a statuette of some variety, like a comic book statuette, buy a perverted statuette, and then support Artist Alley. And I was able to I actually got a few different figurines and stuff like that. I got a really cool DC Scarecrow figurine. I also got a amazing piece of artwork in Artist Alley of Poison Ivy and Bane. It's a gorgeous piece. However, I could not for the life of me find crude statuettes. I tried. There was a group of us. It was this adventure where we were trying to find raunchy items. And we couldn't find any, and we could barely, scratches the surface of raunchiness. So I guess they really were trying to keep it as PG as possible.
It's a shame that I can envision a reality show called the Smut Hunters, and you guys just travel around trying to find the most lewd and raunchy things. And it is a shame that San Diego Comic-Con sort of dropped the ball a little bit there, because over here, those little naughty statues and figurines are everywhere. You go to Crunchyroll Expo, I was at PAX recently. There was titties on display all over the place and willingly able to be purchased by someone that was 8 years old right through to 80.
Yes, sir, I want the big boobies. Yeah, I was pretty shocked, but I mean, hey, let's keep something wholesome, right? So there's other places I can find this stuff. It was just a shame I wasn't able to tick off all the things that I had, all my goals. But yeah, I loved it. I obviously want to go back again and now do it all around, now that I have the experience and I kind of know what to avoid, what to do. I went to a movies pop-up from what's his universe called? The Kevin Smith universe. The
what's the word?
What is it called? It's not the Clerks universe. It's obscure.
Well,
no.
The View Askniverse, is that what they call it?
I think that's it. Yeah, it was a movies pop up, and it was terrible. It was a bar that decided to sell some stuff that had the movies logo on it, and I'm like, well, that was not what I was expecting. So not everything is great at San Diego Comic-Con. Sometimes people are just trying to make a buck.
People shilling and people keeping all the booby statues away from public sight. So maybe San Diego Comic-Con isn't as glamorous as we first thought.
No. But speaking of glamorous, I got to see Chromeo live.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely love Chromeo. Sorry, Tilby. And I also got to see Thrice, which is a band that I don't think I've ever seen before, but has had a major part of like my life growing up. So that was great. It actually was great. It was it was a room full of people in their 30s wearing headphones and earpieces. It was perfect. I've never felt so inclusive, like included, and just like, yep, this is us. This is the
These are my people here. These are my people.
You know, I'm sure like some of us had like some heartburn medicine and, you know, probably some, you know, joint cream as well. And we all had our protective earpieces in. Someone brought their kid and had headphones to, you know, cover their ears too. It was a good experience. It was pretty cool. So
I'm so jealous because they played the Artist in the Ambulance and they like front to back.
That's right. Yeah.
God. Yeah. I missed it here. I stupidly didn't get tickets in time, and so I didn't get to check them out when they sort of came over to our shores. But God, that would have been a special concert.
It really was. It was pretty great just to experience it all live and just vibing out with everyone and just kind of, you know, having a bit of a nostalgia trip as well of a time once before. Oh, that was great. But yeah, it was great. Like both Thrice, Chromeo, loved it. Like I love a good live show, and I also love a great small like kind of space to enjoy music, which both of these events were in. So it was really, really good. Speaking of the opposite of small spaces, I also got to experience Joshua Tree. Absolutely gorgeous place. Absolutely gorgeous. It is magical.
It is magical. It is one of the most beautiful places you could ever see. Like, yeah, I've only managed to go once, but it still stays with me today as far as the vibe and the environment. The weather can get very freaking cold also, but like yeah, it's beautiful. It's so untouched out there.
Yeah, like what they've done with like the national park of Joshua Tree and just doing their best to preserve it, but also obviously making it accessible for people to experience. It's just absolutely stunning. And speaking about like you can't be like it was hot, but it was also cold, and what was crazy was being in the middle of this like kind of deserty space, but then seeing a mountain in the distance that had like snow on top of it. So it's just absolutely wild seeing all those climates together. So, but yeah, like it is a pain in the ass to kind of get to. It isn't really close to anything, so it's quite the trek, but is definitely worth it just to experience it. Like, yeah, like the nature and the animals and the hikes were great, and just the overall experience was wonderful. So if you can do it, I definitely recommend doing it because it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Some of the evening scenes, like the stars that you see littered across the skyline there, like you don't see many places like that. That's just so, I don't know if you'd say lit up is the right word, but like you see there's a lot more star density compared to some of the other suburban areas people are used to. It's gorgeous.
It's quite a spectacle. Like it's just absolutely stunning, but it's also very popular. Like it is the it place for people to be stargazing and stuff. So it's sometimes difficult to get a space to actually, like, if you want to stay the night. So completely off the charts. I just want everyone to know I finally ate Panda Express and it's good.
You rated it thumbs up?
Thumbs up. Yeah, like, you know, classic like fast food, like kind of Chinese food. Like it's really good. Like I like the way that they do the options. Also, they do drive-through. Absolutely,
it's the best.
It absolutely baffles me how you do that as drive-through, but they make it work. So just giving that one a thumbs up on my like American fast food lists and stuff. So I'm still working my way through.
Have you got a go-to order? Are you an orange chicken gal?
No,
that's sort of one of the main staples.
No, I'm not. I'm a beef and broccoli and Szechuan beef.
Okay.
Both amazing, by the way. And beef and broccoli because I'm healthy. The Szechuan beef absolutely cancels it out. But those are my two. Those are my two go-tos. So
yum.
And just throwing it in there, I exceeded my reading goals. I kind of fell off the wagon of reading, being a reader. So jumped back on Goodreads, set some goals, and just try to. I read on my lunch breaks, and some of my younger colleagues thinks that's weird.
Youths today just don't
no,
understand.
they don't get it. They don't read them books. But yeah, so setting a goal of like reading books and stuff, and mostly horror books. But yeah, it's a good thing to achieve. Like anyone that's kind of been on the fence about like, I kind of want to get into reading, but it seems like quite a commitment, or maybe I don't have the book on me when I get a Kindle. Getting a Kindle has been like the best thing of making like reading accessible, I guess is the best way to say it. So I definitely recommend getting a Kindle. So yeah, that's my favorite things of this year that I can remember. Probably a million and one other fantastic things that I've got to experience, but I figure these are the most interesting, I guess.
Yeah, there's some good variety there. I'm with you. I need to buy a Kindle. Like I love physical print media, and that's my trouble. Like I love having a book and the feel and the smell of a book, but I just know from an accessibility standpoint, having a Kindle and having my whole library in my hand is so much easier, and I can just skim pages. It's easier to put away instead of having big bulky, multiple 100-page books with me at all sort of times. So maybe I need to treat myself. I'll keep an eye out for like the Boxing Day sales and pick up a little Kindle or an e-reader or whatever the main ones are out there, and I can get judged by the youths as well when I'm sitting there reading books on my lunch break. But no, good list. Very diverse, very, very mixed. And I sort of tried to do the same thing. And 2023 for me has been the year of the Euro trip, where I somehow have gone to various countries in and around Europe 3 times this year. Very unexpected, very expensive, but it is what it is. You only live once, and if you can do it, why don't you? So yeah, life off the back of this for me has changed in a very big way, and there's a lot of big things on the horizon which I'm excited for, a little bit scared for at the same time. But a lot of travel. It's been good after a couple of years of COVID where travel was not a thing anymore to now get out there and experience so many different cultures and different countries, and whether it be language barriers, whether it be different cuisines, different social aspects. Like it's just been really eye-opening and put a lot of things in perspective for me. So I've enjoyed that. That's been good. I've started actually getting into fitness a little bit this year, and I'm starting to feel good. I'm eating better most of the time. I still like a cheeky pizza and wings and things like that, but really enjoyed the investment financially and also time-wise with the old Peloton. That bike, I love that thing. Like being able to sort of do classes in my own time, in my own safe space, because the big thing for me is like going to a gym solo is terrifying to me. So at least I can do my own little awkward workouts here. My form might not always be perfect, but whatnot. But it's nice that I can just get on, do my thing, or do like a weights class up here in the studio and then just, hop off and not worry. So that's been really nice to get into that momentum of just regular health and even just eating better. I feel a lot better and a lot more energy just day to day from just not funneling shit down my throat every day like I've been so used to for decades.
Yeah.
So that's been nice. But I guess on the other side of that is one of my favorite places I've discovered this year is a bakery/cafe, only open on the weekends, called Moon. It's an offshoot of Loon. Anyone that knows that, it's a very high-end Instagrammy bakery that do some of the best croissants in Australia. The queues are always out the door around the corner. They're delicious, but I ain't queuing for that anytime because a croissant's a croissant. But this place, they do deep fried choux pastry. So it's like the easiest way to compare it is like picture just a proper traditional rounded churro type of donut with a glaze on top or various other flavors, and it is next level. It is so good. So it's become like my weekend pilgrimage where I'll go there on a Saturday or a Sunday, take the boys, get a coffee, they get a little puppuccino, and I get like just a little assortment of their donuts or their fried choux pastry, and they rotate in different flavors every week, so you get something new every time. Great coffee, great vibe. So I've been enjoying that, and I love a pastry. I love a pastry.
Dude, my donut obsession has like grown over here. Like
really?
It's crazy. There's a reason why actually I won't say that. But like donuts are really good. My obsession for donuts like has just like escalated. There's like places here that just really nail donuts like really well. Like how in Australia donuts are kind of like chewy and thicker. Like they're a bit more thick on the dough. Like some of the places here it's like light and airy and just, gosh, an absolute treat.
Yeah. Have you got a favorite donut flavor that you lean towards typically? I think we've probably had this discussion a few times over the years.
We've had this big controversy. I think it even turned into an Instagram, not Instagram, Twitter. Oh, sorry, X, formerly known as. And it was the battle of like what the best flavor was. I'm a maple. I like a maple bun.
That's right. Yeah, which I can get behind.
But like over here, I can get like a crazy like apple custard filled donut. Like it is crazy. It's dangerous, but good. Like and you're a strawberry donut.
Yeah, just a pink glaze, just a classic simple pink glaze. That's my favy.
Yeah. And then the voice of reason, which was Jono, which was like, aren't they just all the same flavor?
God, get in the bin, Jono. I bet his like a cinnamon. Like I'm not gonna completely poo-poo on a cinnamon donut. They're fantastic.
They're great.
I bet, like that's his
but
favorite.
warm. Yeah.
Fresh out the fryer. So Moon, I love what they do. Anyone that comes to Melbourne and is looking for that type of good pastry experience, check out Moon because it's so good. A couple other ones, they both sort of tie into podcasting in general. Like it's been a really fun podcasting year, but it's also been challenging at times as well. Like we had a great first half where me and Ali were rocking and rolling and kicking butts, and then we decided to shift things up and you had to step away for a little while.
Shift. I literally I hit the fucking reverse. I was like, I'm out.
Pulled the parachute, and it was a bit of a sort of junction where I'm like, what do I do? I still, to be honest, I still don't know what to do, but I'm just making it work week on week and having some fun with this new little formula. But I'm having more fun with the other podcasts that we launched this year with More Than Hentai because anime is certainly, I don't want to say it's become my personality. That's probably an embarrassing thing to say, but it's become a big part of my life.
Okay,
and
that's
I
a good
watch
way of
so
putting
much
it,
of it. Yeah, and I'm having so much fun with that podcast, and I didn't think it would really do anything, but the fact that it's doing so well and people are listening to it all over yonder and providing good feedback and having new people in every week, it's been a really fun experience, and gives me an excuse to watch new things and then try and like steer people down paths for their new favorite anime, hopefully with fingers crossed. But yeah, it's been enjoyable, and I've got mine set up for you, ready to roll in the new year.
You did say that
you
finally figured out which one you want me to watch. So I'm very curious about which one it is. Hopefully I haven't seen it already. That's a very small pool of anime, but like, the off chance, but I'd be very curious.
Yeah. So I've taken time and I've actually like gone through a pretty exhaustive process where I had like a short list of maybe 10, but then I went back and watched the first episode of all them 10 to see which one's going to hit the hardest. Because sometimes that first episode doesn't give you the whole story, well, not the whole story, but it doesn't get you fully on board. Like, there might be a bit of intrigue, but I want something that's just going to go whack. Holy shit! I need more of this. Give it to me. So I think I've landed on one, and I'm excited to get you to check it out, and hopefully it's the right choice. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, but that's the favorite things we've done this year. Let's talk about some of the favorite things that we've watched, and that can cover not only film, that can cover television, whether it be traditional free-to-air, streaming, and also the anime space. So I've sort of bundled everything that's viewable on a screen into the one category here. So what you got for me as far as the favorite things you've watched in 2023?
I'm just going to be honest. When it comes to TV, I've only been watching cooking shit. Like, that was like the news that everyone knew, like the new season of, was it Crime Scene Kitchen? That was amazing.
Oh, I didn't even know the new season was out yet.
There's 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, I've only watched the first. I need to cut that down.
The second season's great. They do. Sorry, everyone. Check out if you don't like cooking shows. The second season, what they do is they do home chefs against professionals. So the professionals are fighting each other. The home chefs are fighting each other, and then once they get to the certain amount, then they fight. Then they go against each other as well. So it was brilliant. It's a great season actually. I'm kind of happy with how the outcome was for that one. So. Then Top Chef, Master Chef, and then your Kitchen Nightmares and all the other lovely stuff that I love.
You are living the cooking life.
I just love it. I don't have to think, and I can just enjoy it. And then it's like, it's food as well, so it's like that food porn kind of thing. So Yeah, just so show wise, I think the only thing I really took in was obviously What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
because that's just, of course, why not? But I remembered what movies I saw this year that I enjoyed. Mario movie was good. It was good. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it
I think so.
for what it was. Yeah. John Wick 4 was good. It was all right for what it was. It was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
It was long. That was the biggest thing. It was great, but it was long.
It was long. It was long. It had some issues as well, but for the most part, it was all right. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, that was absolutely brilliant. Like, I absolutely loved that movie and that experience of seeing it in the cinema. So, but yeah, I just, when it comes to taking in like long form media, I'm not doing it anymore. And I don't know what that says about me, or if I don't have the attention span, or I'm just, the idea of like dedicating some time to something is just exhausting, you know?
Yeah, but that's you've well, not always, but you've been like that for a long while. Like, we've always talked about trying to get you to watch films and stuff. And you're like, nah, I'm a cooking show or SVU gal, you know,
Yeah.
like
I'll
that
watch 5
45 to
episodes.
an hour is the sweet spot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you. Like, I thought the Super Mario Brothers movie was fun. It exceeded my expectations. I thought it was going to be pretty rough, but it was enjoyable. It was very pretty. John Wick 4, the combat and the martial arts, phenomenal. But man, it was so exhausting. Like, John Wick was exhausted, and I was exhausted riding along with him as he fought the entire universe every 5 minutes.
Yeah, there was some cool parts to it, and then there were some not so, like, why are we doing this parts? Like,
Yeah.
The fighting got boring after a while, which says a lot.
Especially the stair scene. Like, won't go into the specifics, but holy guacamole, like, that went forever.
Yeah.
And then when he tumbled down, like, I don't think that's a major spoiler, but when he tumbled back down the stairs again, it's like, fuck, come on, really?
I mean, that's kind of a spoiler.
He could have just tripped.
I mean, yeah.
He just tripped. It was a banana peel. It was a weird sort of comedic sort of moment there where John Wick slipped on a ladyfinger. So
yeah, that's
yeah. Yeah, But yeah, Across the Spider-Verse was stunning. It's one of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Just the melting pot of all these different spider universes coming together and seeing all the absurdity, but it still somehow worked.
It was
really cool.
I think I actually did talk about this on the podcast, but like overall, like it was just an incredible collaboration of both visuals and sound and story. I just think they just did amazingly with it, and they did amazing. If the movie was as long as it was, and when it reached the end, I was the one that was like, "Oh, that's it! Like, there's no more." You know, that's a big win for a studio. Little do they know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the third piece of this Spidey puzzle. It was a little bit of an abrupt ending where it's, a told to be continued type of scenario, which irked a few people. But
really
right
did.
up until that moment, we had a good time.
Yeah.
A very good time. I want to also shout out The Creator, which was a really good science fiction film that came out this year, not only from an action and an emotional and a drama standpoint, but just from a visual sense. Like, it was really pretty. Really loved the story. Very, very big, impactful moments. Took me by surprise. I didn't really hear many people talking about it when it came out, and I went and seen it at the cinema, and holy moly, it blew me away. So, yeah, check that out. I think it's available to be, streamed at home now and stuff like that. It's well worth your time. And then I've just got some other anime that I just wanted to sort of shout out really quick. The second season of Jujutsu Kaisen it's still ongoing at time of recording. I think we've got 2 more episodes to go in season 2, but holy guacamole, the emotional trauma that I'm dealing with episode after episode at the moment is big time. And there's not many pieces of media that can sort of constantly, I guess, elevate that level of trauma and level of dread while not sort of tumbling into a heap. Like, it's an anime where no one is safe, where a lot of anime usually know, like, that cast, the main ensemble cast usually feel like that's who we're going to go on this journey with forever. But in this, it feels like anyone can go at any given time. So the stakes are very real. I haven't read any of the manga, and I'm trying to avoid it because I'm just enjoying this visual thing play out from Mappa. But I know you enjoyed the first season. parts of the
it
first
turns out,
season.
yeah, I thought I finished the first season, but it's one of those things where it feels like you finished the first season, but it's like a first season part one, like, or like first half or whatever. So I actually haven't finished, which is something I realized kind of recently. And because like people were talking about the next season, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then when I went to look, I'm like, wait, I haven't finished the first one apparently. And now everyone's like, what the fuck's happening with Jujutsu Kaisen? I'm like, like trying to cover my eyes and ears for things that I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be ignoring. So, but to hear it gets messed up is very interesting. So I really need to kind of sit down and finish season 1 part whatever. Like,
yeah. And then you've got the film that sort of slots in there too if you wanted to watch that, Jujutsu Kaisen O, which is there.
oh, okay.
But with season 2, they sort of do like a prequel, like, or an origin story, and then shift back to present day. So you get a bit of a how Satu Gojo came to be, and then it jumps back to present time where you're hanging out with Itadori and Kugisaki and people like that. So it's kind of cool. You get opposite-ended storytelling going on there, but oh my god, it's so good. Some of the fight scenes, holy shit, they are like, it is art, obviously, but it is just, we were talking about how pretty Across the Spider-Verse is. This is up there too. Wanted to mention also Oshinoko, which is a new anime that come out this year. Very interesting premise. I don't want to say anything because probably if I do mention anything regarding loose plot points, it will probably spoil it, because the first episode of the anime, it's almost like a movie. It's like an hour episode.
Yeah.
And it just sets the tone, and things that happen where you feel you know what's going to go on, and then it just goes this other direction. It sort of just feels like it's just going to be like this light, whimsical, like J-pop type of story. And then it just goes into murder mystery and twists and turns and darkness. And it's like, whoa, okay. So really, really vibed that. I also liked that we finally got the ending of Attack on Titan after a decade. So I think they stuck the landing. I don't want to go into what happens in those
I heard a lot of people are
final
happy.
chapters.
Yeah, that's good to see. As a person that's only midway, if that, then I'm glad to hear that like the fan base is happy with how it ended. Because anime fans,
the animation style was still a little jarring. Shifting from Wit into Mappa for this final season was a little jarring. Like, it's still stunning and gorgeously animated, but you can just see the slight differences as far as how the studios handle their art. So that was still like a bit of a, I don't know, but overall the storytelling, very big, very bold, very emotional. And then the last one I wanted to mention is an anime that started this year. It's currently airing at the moment. We haven't finished this first season, called Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. And it's anime done by Madhouse. It's a fantasy anime where you're following Frieren, who's this elf mage. She's like 5,000 years old, but instead of it just being, this whimsical journey, it's sort of set where her and her team have just defeated the Demon King. And it's also like, what happens next then? Where she sees her party members age out and die. And so it's very real. It's about sort of those little small moments. It's not all about the big grand spectacle and the big abilities going off and the death and there is death, but like the fights and the sword play. It's more about those human or elf moments here where what happens next. So you just see her sort of living life and then taking on an apprentice, and just seeing these sort of time jumps where it's not minutes, it's years, because they've played it out in that kind of capacity. So it's a really, really, really well told story. The animation from Madhouse is stunning, and the soundtrack is great. And yeah, it's awesome. It's got some, like, I don't want to say Lord of the Rings vibes, but as far as live action, where they do have those little small moments where they just let it sort of fester and resonate. They do a lot of that with Frieren, and it's so good. It's so fun. It's one of my favorite animes of the year.
I'm still gonna have to look into this Oshinoko one, because if it really gets messed up, then that's probably something I want to know about.
Yeah. I'll share you my login to High Dive, and you can check it out on there. And you can finally check out your boy Kong Ming. God damn it! Which is also amazing. So that is our favorite things we've watched. We might shift into favorite characters, and that can not only encompass, film, TV, video games, everything else in between. So some of your favorite people or things from 2023.
I don't know why I found this really hard. Like, I was like, what are my favorite characters? So I took a really weird route with it, and I mostly only video games. My first one is Riptide, full disclosure,
Mhm.
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Like a lot. Like I've probably vowed that I was never going to get back into Call of Duty. Points to you guys, you got me back in. I'm a little obsessed again. It's still a nasty place to play PvP, but some things about running around with a baton and fucking donking people in the head with it, it's just so it's so good. It's so good. I mine's already platinum, just so people know. Like that's how much I've been using the baton. But yeah, my favorite character is a character called Riptide. He's wearing like I'm probably gonna get like hit for this, but to me he's wearing like a rag on his head. So
Okay.
just like a rag, which was the thing that I love the most, because I'm like, this guy can't see shit. And his character is like French, but my friends and my husband, when we play, the one thing you hear my character constantly saying is, he just needs the electrolytes. I just need the electrolytes. And I love it. I love it. It doesn't like, it's just so stupid. So he's my guy. He's my guy. So if you see someone with like a platinum gold baton running around with a rag over their head, it's me.
Yeah, I'm looking. The character model does look pretty damn cool. I like the rag or the what else do you call that?
I don't know, mesh.
Yeah, like mesh. Like you wouldn't call it a blanket. Like,
no, it is a kind of like mesh, and I'm sure it has purpose. I'm sure a lot of people will love to tell me what the actual purpose is. But to me, it is a person in a game that has the same ability to see what they're doing like me. I have no idea what I'm doing in Call of Duty, and it don't matter. My baton gonna donk your head. And I'm gonna,
your platinum baton.
My platinum baton.
That's a lot of donking, I'm guessing, to get a
Yeah.
platinum baton.
This is a stupid amount. See me running around your maps, donking you in the back of the head. It's great. It literally makes a noise too, by the way. It makes like a dunk noise. It's great. It's very therapeutic. I recommend it. Second character is Chai from Hi-Fi Rush. Once again, you're going to probably hear about it later. I absolutely loved Hi-Fi Rush, but there was something incredible about this character of Chai, who is, like a smart talking cool guy, too big for his britches, hero, voiced by Robbie Damon, who does a lot of anime and a lot of video game characters. But the character is so damn lovable, and not one moment was I ever annoyed by him and his shenanigans and his manner. And I think that is just great writing for a character. Because like a main character can ruin an experience for a game. Like you could enjoy a game's mechanics and story, but then the main character could be just so damn annoying that will just tarnish the experience for you. So I just think Chai was a really lovable character to play for such an amazing game. So shout out to Chai. And then this character, the character's name is Undying Sorrow. This is kind of same thing as Call of Duty. So I now have a designated character in Fortnite. You will find me in Fortnite as this demon dying character called Undying Sorrow. I think there's a picture on Twitter that I posted about her. As soon as she was released, I was like, I found my character. So much so that like in community competitions of playing Fortnite community events, that's my character. So like that's what I'm known as. That's me. So I couldn't be more thrilled with it.
It's a great character. And like when I saw it on the docket, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know which skin that is. And then I've just Googled it now and I'm like, yep, that's
the one. that's Ali, all right.
And it's such a creepy looking skin, but it's also a great looking skin too.
Like it's a really well designed skin, but for the most part, for probably a more like grounded people, it is messed up. It is a really messed up looking skin, and people probably think it's absolutely disgusting that I love it so much. But she's my gal and she's my representation in Fortnite. So, see me on the I don't even know what the maps areas of the maps of Fortnite are called anymore. It's changed recently.
See me at Frenzy Fields or
see me on the train.
Grand Station or whatever it is. Like the new map's great, but man, some of those hot drops in and around the medallions.
It's rough.
Oh my goodness.
It is rough. It is absolutely rough. That's why like I now have Call of Duty to kind of like switch between the two. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many times switching between those two games, and next thing you know, I'm throwing grenades at doors. It is bad. It is so bad.
Which universe do you find to be the sweatier of the two? I'm just going to
Sweatier?
assume
Oh,
Call
it's
of
Call of
Duty.
Duty. It is Call
Yeah.
of Duty by a long shot. I find myself in most lobbies with the sweats. Fortnite you will encounter some very sweaty kids. I'm gonna say they're
Mhm.
kids. I can only assume a child can only have that much time to dedicate to being like that overpowered in Fortnite.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Call of Duty is just more consistent, and you can see when people are seething in that thing. But plus, no, I'll wait. Oh, yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait till we talk about things later on. But yeah, either
Okay.
way, yeah. I'm dying.
Okay.
Sorry if I see my dead ass on Fortnite.
Yeah, I my character list, I've got 4 that I wanted to shout out. The first one we loosely mentioned earlier regarding what we do in the shadows. I wanted to shout out Laszlo Craven by Matt Berry.
So good.
He's just the greatest. I love him in everything, but him as Laszlo absolutely kills me. He's dropped some of the best one-liners in media history, or at least recent media history, that just make me cackle so loud every time I see him on screen, because you just never know what you're going to get. And there's so much ad-libbing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the New York City is one of my favorites, but he just keeps going from strength to strength. And the good thing is what we do in the shadows is maintaining that consistent greatness too.
Yes.
Like, this was what, season 4 or was it season 5?
I think it's season 5, because I think they only announced recently that they're ending it with season 6.
Yeah, which makes me sad, but I at least like that we're going to get an ending.
Yes,
I'm just
I
going to
respect
plan
that.
towards a resolution, because there's only so much craziness and zaniness, I guess, you could get out of this vampiric stone, but they're doing it episode after episode. And yeah, Laszlo being at the forefront kills it. I love him.
It is a cast of characters where everyone holds their own. They're all unique characters in their own sense. They're all incredible actors, and yet they still hold like the cast equally. Like, yeah, granted, everyone, yeah, come on, we all love that character. Like, Matt Berry is incredible. How can you not love this? But everyone else like still does amazing, and they've done great with the show. They've kept it consistent. Like, I still can't believe, like, when they told us that they're making a TV show, I'm like, really? And they just absolutely nailed it. The vibes and everything, like, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really special. Anyone that hasn't seen it yet, do yourselves a favor and check it out, especially if you're looking for something that's going to make you laugh, because it is genuinely laugh out loud funny. And yeah, the premise is absurd, but it works.
It works.
Like Ali said, the cast is phenomenal. The pacing, the writing, the sets, and some of the absurd lunacy that happens in it. It's just like, yeah, this is a world that just I get.
An incredible guest cast too. They have incredible actors as guests on this show as well. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Jackie Daytona when he meets Mark Hamill is still one of my favorite scenes in the entirety of what we do in the shadows. Yeah, shout out to Laszlo. Shout out also, I talked about Freerun Beyond Journey's End, but I just wanted to shout out to Freerun, the character. She's so funny and so aloof, because I guess time doesn't really matter to her so much, because she's an elf, she's 5,000 years old. Like, what people's lifetimes they equate to for her as like minutes, or not minutes, but like a fleeting moment. So it's kind of interesting to see that juxtaposition. Even though she's thousands of years old, she's still got this very curious young mindset, and she's in that almost that like young adult bratty stage, which kind of works. And she's just funny, and it's a really cool character, and she's one of the main reasons why Freerun's such a great anime that's worth checking out. Also want to shout out to Daddy Pedro Pascal, who played Joel in The Last of Us this year.
Oh, that was this year, was it?
Yeah, January.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So there was some skepticism, obviously, with the casting of Joel and Elliot at first, but I felt that Pedro absolutely crushed it, and I reckon they're going to take home a lot of awards come award season over the coming months. So yeah, Pedro nailed just that gruffness, but also the kindness and the softness that Joel has from the game. I think he really translated to screen with that. And the last one, I just wanted to shout out the entire cast just about of Baldur's Gate 3, because holy guacamole is that game special. The voice work, the mocap work, the animation, the soundtrack, you name it, this game just oozes quality. And whether it be Astarion, Shadowheart, Gale, Will, Karlach, Halston, etc., etc.
Yeah.
They're all great. They're all unique, and you can have so many great experiences and interactions with them that I just love that main supporting cast, but then just the ancillary nothing characters you meet along the way for side quests and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it is so good.
The cast are great. Like, I love seeing their little experiences online. Like, a lot of them love the fan art. Some of them love the, like, I think it's like Tumblr posts, and they all like will quote like lines that people have kind of given these characters and stuff like that. It just looks like it's an incredible cast. They had a lot of fun with it, and they made these incredible characters. Like, they really put themselves into these wonderful characters and make them so lovable and real and thought out. Like Neil, the voice actor of Asurian, he won voice.
Yeah, he won Best Performance
That's
at
it, yeah.
the Game Awards
That's
just,
all.
2 weeks or so ago now?
Yeah, so, you know, like, they've done amazingly, and it's good to see them get the accolades too.
Yeah, very, very justified. And anyone that hasn't played Baldur's Gate 3, seriously pick it up. It's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox now, it's on PC. So if you've got one of the big three primaries, I'm not going to dismiss Nintendo, but you got the three primaries from a power perspective, yeah, get your hands on a copy of it. And if you're already playing it on PC and now you want to move to Xbox, that's fine because it's cross-save. So your save and your timing can carry straight across. All right, so there are our favorite characters. Let's talk about the favorite things that we've played in 2023 for the first time. Miss Hart, I see you got a good assortment here. We've got a couple of crossovers that we can talk about as well, but where do you want to take this conversation?
All right. So my number one favorite game that came out very early this year, and I think I even said this is probably a high contender of my game of the year, and it probably still is, was Hi-Fi Rush. Mm-hmm. Absolute sleeper, just came out of nowhere. Like, here's this game. It's about music, and, you know, you're encouraged to fight to rhythm. I'm like, I'm listening. Absolute banger soundtrack, incredible characters, incredible art style, game design. It's just a fun experience from start to finish. Incredible. A game that I felt like was made for me 100%. So yeah, absolutely love this game and will always sing its praises, recommend it, and it's at the top of my list.
It's so great, and it's awesome to see Tango, I guess, step out of their comfort zone when they've been known for survival horror with Evil Within franchise predominantly, and then they bring out something like Hi-Fi Rush that is so far removed from that survival horror universe, and also that they step out of that comfort zone, but they nail it. Like, Hi-Fi Rush is super fun to play. I agree with everything you said, and it's one of the, I don't know if you'd call it a sleeper hit still of 2023.
It is. Like, people are forgetting to put it on their lists.
Yeah.
So many people are forgetting about it. And to be fair, it's a very intense year of gaming, but there are a lot of people, because it was so early. Like, I forgot The Last of Us, but like, it's so early on in the year that a lot of people kind of forget that, like, this game came out and it was such a great hit.
Yeah. But the next one, I don't rank people forgotten. People are still playing Diablo. I'm still dabbling with Diablo.
I thought about going back because I got an email that I got something for free for Christmas. Diablo 4.
Spoilers.
So Diablo 4 was phenomenal. Like, the get-go of, like, its release, we were all playing it. We were all enjoying it. It was fun. I'm not going to deny the fact that I had an incredible time when Diablo 4 dropped. Its biggest issue was that it decided to hit reset. And a lot of time and dedication kind of just went into the wind for me. And then I was like, I don't want to do this again. Like, I think it kind of made me feel like, what's the point? Like, it just got taken away. So I started, like, backing away from it, unfortunately. But I'm not going to deny the fact of the fun and experience that I had when it initially released. And that first, was it a season? Did they call it a season? Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It was incredible.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Like, I've been jumping in intermittently with Diablo. When it dropped earlier this year in June, was fully engrossed, loved my little sorcerer, loved having a good time with her, kicking all the butts. But then finding out that with the next season, they get retired to some other realm where you can't play new seasonal content. You're like, yeah, why are you disrespecting all the time and effort I've put in to get this character to this level? And now they can't continue this journey with me. So that was a bit of an annoying thing. I know that's like a Diablo archetype that they've rolled out in the last sort of several years with their seasonal drops, but it's like, come on, man, like respect the new player's time. Like it's pretty jarring for a new player in this world to be invested, and then it's like, sorry, all that work you did means nothing anymore. Start again or go play the same content you've just did and level that way. So I was like, it's a bit frustrating, but I've been really ripping in with this current season, the vampiric theme one. So I've gotten this character's the highest level that I've ever had. So this necromancer, I think she's at 92 now. I'm going to get it to 100 before the new season rolls around, I think the second week of January. So I've got a few weeks up my sleeve because I want at least to get one character to 100, because the first 2 seasons it was like 75 and then 78 or something. So close, but no cigar. So I'm going to get to the 100 and then see what this next seasonal drop happens in January. But then it's like, what class do you play? Like, I want to try and experience new things, but I don't really have interest in like a barb or a druid. So I don't know what to do there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like when they did the reset, where did I gravitate towards? Oh, I made a barbarian. What did I fucking name her? I named her something like Death by Snoo Snoo. It's okay, but it's not my way that I play things. Like I am more of a distance kind of player, like in any game for most things, apart from with my platinum baton in Call of Duty. But yeah, so like going from sorcerer to barbarian was just a little it was jarring. It was very, very jarring.
Yeah, maybe I'll roll back to sorcerer because there's this new lightning meta that they're doing now, which is just absurd. Like it just one-shots everything, which I don't know if that will take the fun out of it, doing it like to be that overpowered, but who knows? The next one we got on both our lists as well, something we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Fortnite has been a fantastic like game for most of the year. I'm gonna be an anti-OG person. When they released the OG map and the OG play style, I hated it. Like it was
I did too, it's okay.
It was rough. The maps felt empty, the gameplay felt empty. I constantly felt like I was dropping somewhere and just running around for such long periods of time. But for everything before and now after it, back at having fun, having a ball, absolutely loving it. And now they have done the most incredible thing that they could have ever done that I would have never have picked, but I'm all for it. They added a guitar hero. They added a rhythm game. Lord knows I've been playing it. I'm always playing on like epic difficulty, I think it's called. Like they've got great songs, mostly great songs.
There is some bangers in there.
There are some great songs on there. I apologize to no, I don't. I don't apologize. You can put up with it. I will be hitting Butterbon all the time, and I love that you can play the songs like in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
Like it was hilarious. My group, like the 4 of us, we went to the highest peak of this mountain and we started playing like Butterbon at the very, very peak. And then it was funny because like this person came up and they stood there for a bit watching us, and it was an enemy, but I think they were kind of like, is this what is this?
Yeah, the exact same thing this past week where we were jamming out. We had the little quartet there jamming in the snow area as well, funnily enough. And an enemy rolls up and I could see them out of the corner of my eyes. I'm hitting my drums. They rolled up and then they started doing the dance emote as we were fighting, as we were jamming out. And then I'm like, someone's going to have to end this eventually. And it's going to end up in bloodshed. So I dropped the drum skins and just went, pap, 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 killed him. And then we went back to jamming. But it was just these weird moments that you can't find in any other game.
Exactly.
And that's what I think what makes Fortnite special.
You know what? That's exactly it. It's just Fortnite just offers these very like strange, original, organic experiences that you can't really experience in the other like PvPs and Battle Royale games. So I love it. I'm having a blast. Lego Fortnite, it's all right.
I was just about to ask. It's fun, but it's a little it's shallow.
Thank you. Shallow is a good way to describe it. Like I kind of got into it, but then after like dying and not making solid progress. Like I don't feel like I was getting like rewarded for the time and commitment that I was putting into it. I felt like I was hitting a lot of walls. So it was fine, but I kind of have already backed away from Lego Fortnite. Like it's not Minecraft. People calling it Minecraft killer can fucking jump. It's nowhere near it.
Yeah, I think like if they keep investing and building it out more, I reckon it really could get up there to rival a Minecraft or a Roblox, especially because it's free. But like right now, it's definitely Minecraft Lite, where there's some fun building mechanics, there's some exploration and combat and stuff, but it's nowhere near as deep at the moment. So hopefully that'll change, because I was enjoying my time with it this week, but then it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of going into this same cave and mining this same resource and ferrying it back to try and build this shit. And also the building, where you've got to go like piece by piece, can be really, really monotonous and frustrating.
And there's no reward to it, in my honest opinion, when you're kind of just putting the blocks in. Like I understand what they're trying to replicate, but I'm not getting like that rewarding sensation from it. So yeah, that can go. That could go. Speaking of shooting people, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, like I said, genuinely surprised. I'm back on Call of Duty. Shout out to my husband who, like, essentially just kept on playing it and then was like, just try it. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll just try it. And yeah, I'm addicted. I won't go into too much to it because it's Call of Duty. There's not much to it. For the most part, it's like still a toxic environment. So, just turn off the game chat and ignore all that kind of stuff.
Proximity chat is a bit nasty.
Yeah, it's rough. It can be rough. So just stay away from all that. Most handling is actually pretty good. The gun handling and most weapon handling is pretty fun. Do melee attacks. People will hate you, but you will love it. It's a lot of fun. Nothing like running around the map with a knife and just stabbing people. It's great.
Put that on the box art next year.
Yeah, me with the thumbs up. And that's all I'll say about Call of Duty. And my final one is Pizza Tower, which is like a little indie platformer, WarioWare like kind of little, like, just it is just like it feels like a Nickelodeon kind of game. It feels like a old school game that like was taken from my past and brought into the present, and it's just fun and ridiculous and challenging. There's a great element that makes you have that replayability of it. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it anymore, which is, I guess, okay, because like it was more at the start of the year as well. But I genuinely surprised like how well they like kind of just brought out this crazy looking game and how much fun it actually was to play.
Yeah, I still haven't played a minute of Pizza Tower, but it was nice to see it was in the nominations for best debut indie game or best, in the Game Awards this past week. But even if they would have won, they wouldn't have got any airtime because Jeff Keighley. But yeah, it looks fun. I've got it wish listed on my Steam, so maybe I should invest in a bit of Pizza Tower over the Christmas break.
I will say, if you're a person that has like a Steam Deck or one of those portable devices which you can play your Steam games on, it's perfect for it. It is perfect for it. So if you have one of those, definitely get it.
There you go. I might knock the dust off the ROG Ally because that thing has quickly been parked in the cupboard after a few weeks of use.
That you went to get it, man. Like mine too. I have a problem with it where it's just like I don't like how quickly it dies.
I was about to say the battery on it sucks.
It's rough. So you kind of have to just plug yourself into the wall while playing it. And yeah, like it sucks because like there's a lot of great things about it, but just that little element, like you can't get into a game and be away from the wall. Like you can't use it for its portability, like which is what a handheld should be about, right? Exactly right. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's cool. I can play these very detailed PC games on this device, but it doesn't mean shit if it's like gonna die in like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. So
Jesus. Yeah, great bit of kit, but yeah, sadly the portability is great, but it's short term because after an hour or so, you can see that battery starting to wane in a big way, which sucks.
And drop the quality, it still doesn't help.
But something that is full of quality and does not suck is Alan Wake 2 by Remedy. It is one of my favorite things I've played this year. It is special in every sense of the word. It is such a unique game. It is such a unique story, and the mixed media that they weave into this storytelling, like if you say it, like if you gave me the broad pitch in a very condensed term, I'd be like, that wouldn't work. That sounds silly. How are they going to be able to weave these genre changes and shifting from live action to the video game, like to a digital space and back and forth? But it works, and it works so well, and it is creepy, it is fun, it is haunting, it is visually stunning. My goodness gracious, it is amazing. And this is like Remedy firing on all cylinders. Like, it is getting nominated and winning many a Game of the Year award, and it's completely justified because it's special. The storytelling is unlike just about anything out there, and I am all for it. Anything that can sort of throw me back into like thriller, science fiction, suspense of the 90s, where you get that Twin Peaks vibe, that X-Files vibe, all that kind of stuff, that pulpy, creepy, unsettling. That's what Alan Wake does, and I love me some Alan Wake too.
Alan Wake is this funny thing where it was like when the first Alan Wake comes out, a lot of people said to me like, Ali, you should play Alan Wake. Alan Wake seems like your kind of game. I'm like, it's a scary game. Like, I appreciate it, like, you know, but to me, it looks like it's a scary game. I'm good. Then Alan Wake 2 comes out, and people are already saying, like, by the trailer, like, come on, like, Ali, this looks like your kind of game. Like, I agree. It looks great. It looks like my kind of game. Like, but I'm sorry, like, it's too scary. I'm not going to play it. Then they put a metal musical in there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this game being made for me that I can't compel myself to play? This is unfair. So maybe I will have to play Alan Wake, because like that was really like that was like the cherry on top. And it's got FMV in it now. Like like it's like they were building this game for me. Like, come on, like, it's here. It's for you, Ali. This is your game. Play it.
All that's missing is a platinum baton in this game, and otherwise
and
it is
a cooking level, unless there is one. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've actually, ever since the Game Awards, I've been listening to that song.
It is a banger. Holy shit.
Like, I've actually been, like, it's on my loop lately. I've been listening to it actually a lot. So I'm like, I need to, like, thanks to Herald of Darkness, I need to, like, I might have to actually really get into Alan Wake, because like if there was anything that was going to sell me on a game, it was going to be a metal musical. So
I hope you do. And maybe just like watch a recap video on Alan Wake 1. Like, Alan Wake 1's a great game, but that's
what my question was going to be. Do I put the time into Alan Wake 1, or do I just skip it and get to...
I think just knowing you as a human, I reckon just watch like a recap video on YouTube and then play Alan Wake 2, because I know you're very particular with your time.
Yeah. That's a very good, honest answer from a friend. So thank you.
Yeah. So just watch a recap, then jump straight on into Alan Wake 2 and have the best goddamn time.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Mentioned briefly Baldur's Gate with the characters earlier, but yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, don't need to really add too much to this, because the game is special. The game is immense and huge and open, and it is the ultimate sandbox. Like, you choose what you want to do, how you want to do it, what kind of crazy or straight-laced tactics you want to do to get from point A to point B, and then you just let it play out. Like, this is Dungeons and Dragons, the video game, times a gajillion, like, because it's so pretty. The soundtrack's great. We already talked about how great the animation, the vocal work was done by all the various very talented performers that lended their skills and time to this game. And yeah, it's one of the greatest games I've played that I can remember, irrespective of this year or any year. Like, it is so great, and it just plays well. I was playing it on my ROG a little bit here and there. Battery lasts about 7 seconds, but it worked. Baldur's Gate 3 worked on the ROG, played it on PC. Now I'm playing it on my Xbox, and it's just phenomenal. And I hope we get many, many, many more games from Larian in this franchise moving forward, because they are just in some rare air at the moment. And yeah, it's deserving of all the accolades that it is winning all over the world at the moment too.
Yes, it feels like a reward for all us old school PC gamers that have been kind of like, these games have been good this entire time, we've been telling you. But yeah, I didn't put it on my list only because I had some bad experiences with it, in the sense that I had some save breaks and then just absolutely getting obliterated and losing a lot of progress, where I'm not a saver. I'm not a chronic saver, and I can't play that way. And it obviously is my downfall in this game. So I just had a few bad experiences like that. But for what I did play, I loved it a lot. I love these characters, like the acting, the choices, the options, dressing my characters. Hello. But yeah, I think it deserves every amazing thing that's being said about it.
Yeah, I agree. Something else that I was pleasantly surprised by was the remake of Dead Space that came out at the front of this year as well by EA Motive. There was some hesitancy there about, do we need another Dead Space, especially off the back of Callisto Protocol that came out in the back end of 2022, and it was fine. But Dead Space remake was so good and so fucking creepy and unsettling and visceral and great. It was the evolution of Dead Space, and I hope we get more of these games done in this franchise, remade or reimagined or whatever they want to do or where they ever want to take this story. But yeah, it is special. And like you were talking about earlier, because it came out so early in the year, no one's really talking about it or even maybe remembering that it was a 2023 drop. So I just wanted to send some love to EA Motive there because, yeah, it was a banger. Check out the spoiler cast that Jono and myself did on Dead Space Remake way back when, because it's worth a listen as well.
Yeah.
Also wanted to throw some love towards Dredge, which was their debut indie title release from Black Salt Games, our friends over in New Zealand, which is winning many an award and getting many accolades at the moment. They're doing like crossover DLC with Dave the Diver, another, well, I can't call it indie anymore, but another game that came out in 2023. It's phenomenal. Fishing sim mixed with some mystery, mixed with some suspense, mixed with a great art style and a really nice, solid soundtrack. Just makes for a great game. And Dredge is one of my favorites of the year.
Me and you got really spoiled for games that are very much our thing this year, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were eating well this year, Miss Hart. We had a lot of games that we feel were made for us, in parentheses. And another one that was definitely made for me was the Resident Evil 4 remake. It was another one that came out in sort of that first quarter of 2023 that's, I wouldn't say forgotten about anymore. It was in the Game of the Year shortlist for nominations and stuff. And it is so freaking good. It is more of the greatness that is the most recent reimaginings of Resident Evil. But Resident Evil 4, where it pivoted into that action route, so you sort of see where they took a left instead of going right with their tried and true survival horror sort of archetype. And it's pretty. The gunplay is great. The characters are great. You still get some of that absurd cheese that Resident Evil's known for as far as the writing and the vocal delivery and just the weird quirkiness that they weave in amidst people getting, their faces ripped off and you blowing heads off zombies and cutting stuff in half. Like, so you get this weird juxtaposition with tone, but it works. It feels good. I cannot wait for more of it. I played the Ada Wong DLC a couple of months ago. It was also great. So if they just want to keep reimagining these games every few years, awesome. Please give me Dino Crisis. I know I say that every year, but where's my Dino Crisis remake? But
give that man his Dino Crisis.
Resident Evil 1. Yeah, where is it? God damn it. But Resident Evil 4 remake, very special. And the last one that I've only just rolled credits on last night was Spider-Man 2 by Insomniac. Our hearts do go out to everyone involved in Insomniac off the whole cybersecurity attack and then the leaking of copious amounts of data. We're not going to unpack any of that now, but that fucking sucks. It's horrible, and I hope everyone working there are doing okay, all things considered. But Spider-Man 2 further builds on the greatness that is the original Spider-Man from Insomniac, as well as the Miles Morales offshoot that they've done, bringing those two leads together, incorporating and building out this world in a great way, adding meaningful characters into this universe, adding meaningful like fetch quests for just random collectibles and just weaving that in instead of just go get a backpack. It actually warrants why you do it, and the world gets expanded on more. It's visually stunning. There isn't many cooler things in video games than web slinging, and especially like when it's done so bright and it's so smooth and so fluid. So just zipping around various parts of New York effortlessly, and then dropping down, chaining combos together, and just being a badass, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man never gets old. And Spider-Man 2, like, we've been eating well. Like, it is up there. And for people that do say it's game of the year, I'm like, I'm not going to dismiss that. It is awesome. It is special, but there's just some other games that are slightly more special in my opinion this year. But Spider-Man 2, chef's kiss, 8-bit approved, thumbs up, all the good stuff. I love me some Spidey.
Yeah, I as a person that really couldn't get into the Spider-Man games, like I kind of like, everyone has a game of the year. Like award shows and everything like that, they don't mean jack. If that was your game of the year, it was your game of the year. So, but we like, it was a crazy year. It was a crazy year for talented people out there bringing out incredible games for us all. And I mean, we are so lucky. Obviously, everything else surrounding the gaming space, not so great. Hopefully those of us that have got to experience these amazing titles this year can do a little bit more to support those out there that are making them, because if no one supports them, then the games don't get made.
Exactly and it's such a sad contrast where you see all these stats about gaming's never been more profitable. Look at all the growth, look at all this like multi-billion-dollar industry, and then it's like, also look at the 9,000 odd people that have been fired and let go this year. So it's pretty fucked. So the sooner this industry unionizes, that's the word, unionizes, and adds a little bit of safety and security for these very talented individuals making this art that we just gush about, the better, because that industry, with all the money that's getting injected and also the profits that are coming off this industry, there should be so much more safety and security for these people. Because right now, like, if my non-existent child was like, hey, I want to work in games, Dad, and I want to make games, I'll be like, maybe look at a few other options, because it feels like that industry just chews you up and spits you out, and it's a scary place to be. So yeah, I hope it stabilizes.
Same.
Yeah. We ate well this year. We didn't even talk about Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is also a game that everyone's horny for. Like, it's not my wheelhouse, which is fine. Everyone else. And like you said, I think you nailed it where you said, if that's your game of the year, that's your game of the year. Don't let anyone shame you. Don't let anyone yuck your yum. Where if whatever the game is, if that's your game of the year, own it and just fly that flag. Like Ali said, let the developers know how much you love that game. Send them if you're active on social media, send them a tweet or an X or an Instagram post or whatever. Just let them know, because right now I'd say these devs are feeling a little worried, a little unloved with everything else going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I think it's a great idea, just like getting out there and telling them like what they mean, like that you love their artwork, because like in a lot of industries you will always hear the angry, you'll always hear the rancid people out there, and the good comments usually fall short. So it's always good to kind of throw that into the universe, and regardless, honestly, what you do or where you're at, gaming, retail, work, healthcare, just tell people you appreciate what they do.
Yeah, just pay it forward. It takes nothing time and money wise to be kind. So just spread that positive karma and those positive words out there to the people that are doing the things that you appreciate, because it's a tough time of year, especially now. So those good words could hopefully get them through another day and keep them feeling good. Feeling safe. Hell yeah. But Miss Hart, that brings us to the official end of our favorite things episode for 2023. Thank you so much for dusting off that microphone and joining me here in the studio. It's felt good. It's felt familiar. And did it feel just like riding a bike? I reckon. I didn't see you crash once, so I think you nailed it.
I nailed it. This is a fucking unicycle. Like, it was absolutely, it was an experience. It was good to be back. I was going to say a penny farthing. Oh, we're fancy now. But it was good. It's good to be back, and it's good to kind of just get those gaming pop culture conversations out, and there's probably a million more that I missed out on, but I'm happy that I got to be here for the good, the favorites, and I got to be here with my favorite podcasting host. So couldn't have had a better last podcast of the year.
Hell yeah. And I appreciate you, appreciate all you do, and yeah, you'll forever be my podcast ride or die. So hopefully this isn't the last time we see you.
No, apparently I'm
holding out hope. The door's always open.
I've got to apparently watch an anime.
Yes. And then who knows what stems off from there. So yeah, it's exciting times. But listeners, thank you as always for stopping on by. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe this podcast and all the other podcasts you listen to on the regular, because those ratings and reviews help keep the lights on in our hearts, and it takes no time, costs no money. And like we said just before, just pay those good vibes forward. Mm-hmm. But you can follow us as a whole at We're 8-Bit. You can follow Ali at Miss Ali Hart, and you can follow myself at Brendan 8-Bit. but I guess it's time to say goodbye for just about the last time for 2023.
Yeah.
So until next time, 8-Bit Nation, much love.
And stay hungry.
We'll see you around.